Now let's go ahead and just kind of get away from talking about phones for a second. I want to talk about HBO Max. Now, yeah, this is more geared towards the cord cutting people, the cord cutting crowd out there. You're trying to get away from big cable. You're into a lot of these streaming packages. And you hear now that, well, Warner Brothers, now they call themselves Warner Media Group, which is a large conglomerate of HBO, WB, New Line Cinema, CW, and like a whole list of networks that they now own are going to be combined into what they're considering their version of the Netflix killer. So Netflix, a couple years ago, we know they did it big. They brought us pretty much cord cutters a way to consume a lot of content, whether it be old CW shows for those who missed it during the season, original series, movies, especially from the Disney and Warner Brothers perspective. You know, Warner Brothers feel like it's our time to shine. Finding a way to package all this together to make one big streaming package that is going to be beneficial to us financially. With more and more people cutting the cord and getting away from big cable, we got to find a way to make money off of these guys. And the best way to do it is by, well, let's keep it real, charging people money for consuming content monthly. And by doing so, pretty much you're making it another version of a cable package. Now, for those who may be interested in this, you know, like, all right, what am I getting, you know, for this large content that they would now be calling HBO Max? Well, first, they removed some content from Netflix so that it can be exclusive to them. Those who are fans of the TV show Friends back in the day, well, you'll no longer be able to go to Netflix to get to watch that. You have to go to HBO Max. Same thing for the CW shows. So if you're someone who don't have time to catch up with all your CW shows, or you like to go back and watch it later, and you go to Netflix for that, well, no longer. You have to turn to HBO Max for that. And then they also have the other content, HBO, you know, DC, their movies, New Line Cinema, networks such as Boomerang, CNN, TNT, TBS, Toonami, Adult Swim. This is just a number of things that they own, you know, and they're going to package this all together to a content where, yeah, you can consume everything. And the question is it worth it for you as a consumer of media? Is this something that is an attractive offer for you to have one place to be able to experience all this content? And to me, I say, yes, it is, but I think there needs to be a strategy for this. Now, again, we know that these big cable companies are trying to adapt to us cord cutters. As far as they're looking at it, we've been taking money out their pockets, moving away from big cable, and going to little bits of streaming. So now they're trying to adapt. And now they're making their own little packages out there. And when you look at it and you add it all together, we've already said that this will happen. That we will eventually get to a point where these companies will make it more expensive to be a cord cutter than it was if you was a expanded cable subscriber. And we're at that point now where you look at Warner Brothers, not the only one doing it. You got Netflix now. Disney got their thing. Everybody is trying to not only take down the big boys in Netflix, but try to have their own network or series of content for those who are wanting to stream. And if you add all those streaming packages up together and you look at your bill, including the price that you pay for internet, you're spending more than you would have if you would stay with expanded cable. And for you who may be interested in looking at some content on one or each of these streaming services, you got to find ways around this. Now, real quick before I go over strategies that may help or benefit you, they wanted to go out there and say in their news conference that if you're subscribed to DC Universe or HBO, this is not going to affect you. They're not going to pull it and force you onto their network. At least that's what they say. Now, I wonder if when time to come, if they will kind of change on that stance, if they try to start pushing more of their content away from each of those and start moving it towards the HBO Max to force people towards there. And I actually got a feeling that that may happen. You know, as a subscriber to DC Universe, I've said I went there because, yeah, I like the fact they have a lot of the DC movies and all that stuff there. Plus, I was testing it out just for the simple fact of having it so I can write about it. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if I start seeing, you know, them holding off on a lot of their movies, like the newer movies such as Justice League and Batman v Superman, all that stuff that did not make its way to DC Universe yet. and they start funneling more and more of their movies towards HBO Max to pretty much make DC Universe almost, like a watered down version of HBO Max, where if you want to see the movies and you want to see something new, you got to go there to experience it. Same will be with a lot of their content or other places, where if you want to experience some of the new content, you have to go over there to HBO Max. Now, here's my strategy to that, because again, as you have more and more of these networks doing this thing, a lot of people, they love Netflix for not just the original series, but the movies they're putting out there, and some of the content. Well, you're starting to see more and more movies and content move away from that, and you're now going to have to rely on Netflix mainly for original content. And they do put out some good original content, but I think it's getting to a point now where we got to strategize on how to make it work for us. And with more and more of these networks out there trying to do the streaming services, you're going to find a way to, maybe break it down where you say maybe for these 2 months, I will be a subscriber of Netflix. And then after that, cancel Netflix and maybe do the next service. And in those 2 months, you're just going to have to choose which shows you like. And make sure you focus on that and do the same for each one of them. And maybe for you, that'll be the best way that you can still experience that and not go broke trying to have all these services, because, each company is trying to have their own thing. Either that or let's be 100. Now, a lot of us, we know the deal. When it comes to Netflix, we share our password with friends and family members to, have, as you say, multiple accounts or multiple people watching it. Now, what you can do is say, well, I pick up Netflix, you pick up this one, and you pick up that one, and, we do what we do. We all share the username and password, so we all can win. Either that, or for the person that is, the primary purchaser or supplier of the platform that we stream, especially if, let's say, you're a parent and you're, providing this for your kids and other family members, you may say, okay, this is going to be the 2 months that we're going to be on Netflix. And after these 2 months, we're going to move to this, and this move to that. So that everybody in the household is understanding that, look, if you got something on Netflix you want to see, you better check it out in the next 2 months, because after that, we moving on. 'Cause that's the only way I can really think of a way to take advantage legally of where you can enjoy the content you want and not go broke. Because, you should not go broke trying to make these guys rich. Because, they're feeling like you took money out their pocket when you decide to cut the cord and go streaming. And the purpose of you cutting the cord, because you wanted to put more money in your pocket. And we don't want to defeat the purpose of that by finding a way to put more money in their pockets, because we're subscribing to all of their streaming services and platforms they're putting out there.